Hi, Bible 101. It's Sarah. Happy 2021. I'm here today to talk to you about Epiphany. And I'm a little late in talking to you about Epiphany because usually we would do it closer to the actual day. The Feast of Epiphany on the Christian calendar comes on January 6th, after the 12 days of Christmas. And usually at First Church, we gather for a potluck dinner on Epiphany evening, and then we walk through the darkened building of our church with our candlelight, and we bring that light to all the corners of the church, and then we end in the sanctuary where we remember our baptisms and sometimes get sprinkled with the water from the baptismal font on an evergreen branch. I think some of you have been there for that, and maybe some of you have filled the font with water in preparation for that moment. So, the word epiphany means manifestation or appearance. And epiphany is sometimes used in our regular language, regular conversation, as meaning, I just had an insight, I just had a thought, and it's brand new. Aha! You might say, I just had an epiphany about the meaning of my life. That's another way we talk about epiphany. I am recording this mini lesson right now on Inauguration Day, when we have a new president and a new vice president. And some might say that this day feels a little bit like an epiphany in our country's life. Today, a poet named Amanda Gorman recited her poem called The Hill We Climb at that inauguration ceremony. Maybe you heard her. She ends the poem with an image of light, which is a symbol of the festival of Epiphany. The end of the poem reads, "The new dawn blooms as we free it, for there is always light, if only we are brave enough to see it, if only we are brave enough to be it." I think that poem encapsulates Epiphany for me. So, the Feast of Epiphany celebrates the manifestation of God in the birth of Jesus. It's an unexpected manifestation, the presence of God in the world made manifest in a vulnerable little baby. On Epiphany, we often sing the carol, We Three Kings, and we read the story of the wise men who bring gifts to the baby Jesus. Why do they bring gifts? Well, they brought gifts to honor this manifestation of God's presence in the world. So the story of the wise men is found in the New Testament, and it's in the Gospel of Matthew. Can you name the 4 Gospels? Maybe a song would help.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John went to bed with their breeches on. John got up in the middle of the night and said his breeches were too tight. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John went to bed with their breeches on. John got up in the middle of the night and said his breeches were too tight. John got up in the middle of the night and said his breeches were too tight.
So only in the Gospel of Matthew do you find the story. And Matthew tells the story of the wise men visiting the baby. Luke tells the story of the shepherds. Now, you're going to take a little time with the story of the wise men, and you're going to notice, hopefully, how it looks back to a Hebrew Bible prophet named Micah. You'll see how the 2 pieces of the Bible, the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament, are connected in this way around Jesus's birth. Kind of how you saw that last time I talked to you way back in November at the beginning of Advent about Isaiah, the prophet, speaking about the coming of Jesus in the New Testament. So, get out your Bibles and get ready to look for the book of Matthew and the book of Micah. Have fun!